Hello everyone, welcome. So today I will be finally going in depth in my review of the BGVP DM9. This is the company's flagship earphone. It has 9 drivers. You have 4 EST drivers in here. You have 4 balanced armature drivers in here, as well as 1 dynamic driver. Now, I know people will ask, why am I using the original cable that came with it finally? Because I complained the first time this was sent to me that the cable wasn't working very well with this particular earphone, but I finally sorted out that issue. So what happened was that the connector wasn't fixed properly into the nozzle of the earphone. From my end, I just did not do it properly. So I was trying to figure out why this cable wasn't working well, especially the right side. Not the left side was fine to begin with. It was the right side that I was trying to figure out what was going wrong, and I've figured it out. I've sorted it. It took me about 4 days to really get this to work because I was using the original golden cable that I had in house, but I just did not like the sound from that golden cable, so I had to change it and bring it back to the original cable, and it's finally here now. So let's talk about the sound now. After a week I've used this earphone. Look, let me put it this way. This is, if you have $600+ to spend on an earphone, you have to look at the BGVP DM9 because it's one of the very best earphones around this price range. I know I've not listened to very expensive flagship level grade earphones, and I cannot make a huge assertion that okay, that is the best around this range. It's not going to be, because I know there are other companies that make great earphones around the same range of price. So, but what I can say, for me, this is by far the best earphone I've ever heard. It is not even close. It is very, very detailed. It has a lot of bass, which I'm very surprised considering that it's a 9 driver setup where the 8 drivers handle the mids and the treble. Like the 4 EST drivers handle the treble, 4 balanced armature drivers handle your mids, and then a single dynamic driver is handling your bass. I thought that I wouldn't get a very good amount of bass with this earphone, but I was wrong. The earphone has incredible bass performance. I love it. Bass is wonderful with it. Another thing again is that because of this cable is a copper cable and it's of a high quality, what it does is that it warms the sound. So there, you won't have any sibilance with whatever recording you are listening to. So everything sounds so natural with the earphone, and it's very detailed. Now, I've tested a lot of things through this earphone: movies, music, rock, rap, classical. Everything has really gone through this earphone, so I can actually give you guys an insight to what you get. What I would say with this earphone is that it is neutral to V-shaped in a way, because of the bass. The bass is elevated and in a good way. It's not the crazy elevation that becomes bloated or muddy. It's still detailed, but it has slam. One thing I like about this earphone is that it has a lot of impact, especially if you watch movies with it. You will have a lot of impact with the movie. The only thing this particular earphone lacks, the DM9 lacks, is soundstage. I think it's from the design. I don't think it's necessarily like the company could not add a lot of soundstage, but you know, the shell is a bit big because it has to house all the drivers. But I felt that with this price range, you will have a very, very large expansive soundstage, but that's not what this earphone does. What this earphone does is that it is so natural and so detailed that it just encapsulates you in the sound, and you won't really need or feel the need to have an incredible soundstage. But I know people that love soundstage, that are soundstage hawks, people that just want to have that detail. This will not give you that as mind-blowing soundstage that is almost like your entire room is speaking into your ears. So it's not that, but what it does is that it makes it so natural that you can listen and hear every single thing that's happening in the recording. I'd use this to listen to rock. It picks out vocals perfectly, even in a busy mix. It is that good, and I don't think you will need you won't need anything other than just getting the right ear tips on this earphone. Now, people will say, what's the ear tips I'm using? Look, I will recommend one ear tip brand for your earphone. Use or buy the Whizzer EasyTips VC20. This is the perfect ear tip for this earphone. I will drop a link to the Whizzer ear tip so you can buy it. It's the EasyTips VC20. Pair it with and if you want to get the size I'm talking about, get the smallest size. Do not get the medium or the large size. Well, it depends on your ears, but this is the smallest size. So get this. This is the VC20 ear tips from Whizzer. Now, this particular ear tip comes with their earphone, like their HEO1. If you already have the HEO1 earphone, you will have this ear tip in the box. You can use it. This is the best ear tips for this earphone, because what it does is that it neutralizes a lot of that harsh top end. It's not always the case with this earphone, but it's just that because the earphone is very detailed, you will hear that detail at the top, and so many people might not like that over the top detail. So you will need to bring it down, and this ear tip does a fantastic, better than every ear tip that I have to do it. Now, I know this ear tip looks different from the easy ones I just presented, but they are very similar. This particular model, I still don't know the brand that has this model, but this is the perfect one that I've tested on it. But I don't know the earphone it came with, because I've tested a lot of earphones. So this one came with one of the earphones that I've had in the past, but I don't know the make anymore. And it's not labeled, so I can't recommend it. But even though it's like the best that I have on it, because what this particular earpiece does, you can see that the nozzle is far back from the from your earlobe. So what it does is that sound stage that I've said you don't get with the earphone, this gives you that sound stage. So because it's very far from the nozzle, you can see it, it's far from the nozzle, it gives you a lot of sound stage that you will lack with other ear tips that just kind of like stays very close to the nozzle itself. So this is the best way to get soundstage with the earphone. The cable is wonderful. It's a balanced cable. You can swap out the 3.5 millimeter that is coming with a 4.4. It's more or less your choice. I'm still using a 3.5 because I have DACs that are using 3.5 millimeter right now, and my smartphone uses 3.5 millimeter. So that's what I have right now. So this is the best earphone for $600 that I've tested. I know other companies have other earphones around this price range that will be competitive. I am not saying this is by any means better than these other brands. It is not. But as for me, for my library, this is perfect. It's wonderful. It's clear, crystal clear. I can even use this for mixing and mastering. That's how detailed the earphone is. It is just a very good earphone, and I highly recommend it. The box is very good. You can see the box. I don't need to open the box again. This is the case, the white case that comes with it. I like the case. I like the case that comes with it. You can see the BGVP logo on the case. It's a very well designed case. I love the case. It fits the earphone perfectly. You don't need any upgrade. This is one of the few earphones that you will buy. You don't need any upgrade. The only upgrade you need is the ear tip you get for it. I've recommended getting the EasyTips from Whizzer, the VC20. I will drop the link to where you can buy it in the description. But regardless, this is a perfect earphone you can buy. And it's a flagship. I do hope BGVP release their DM10. If they can release their DM10 and add 2 dynamic drivers, I feel that they can improve the bass on this model. If they can improve the bass, because the bass is the important thing, they need to improve the bass and have more slam so it can go to the lowest register without distorting or anything like that in movies. I think the DM10 will be the best they can release, but they need multiple dynamic drivers to handle bass for them. One dynamic driver I don't think is enough. I think they need at least 2 very big dynamic drivers in the next series that they release to get the best out of the bass response that they will add, and they should improve the bass so that it rumbles more and hits hard. I love the sound of this. It's an A. It's an A. I give it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It's a very wonderful earphone. I love it. I'm going to use it for a very long time. Thank you, BGVP, for sending this out. And if you guys like this content, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. I'll see you guys very much next time.